Something I missed out, man, on our show. I want to say a couple of episodes ago. It wasn't last episode, previous one from there. Maybe last Wednesday. We were talking about the greatest intros ever. And
Yes.
and it's funny, man. Astro World celebrates 4 years today. The
Okay.
intro to Astro World Stargazing, I think, is one of the best intros I've ever heard. I'm gonna have to go way back to find something better. Ooh, they
I
talking about Mace in the chat. We're gonna get to this Mace thing.
Yeah. Hold on. I agree with you. So when you said that, I was a little busy yesterday, and it sat on me for a minute, and then I thought about something. What we're really missing is the best intro and intro song combo because we have too many intros and too many songs. And so what I
Mm-hmm.
would submit to you is that I think the best intro and then song combination is Gangstar's Moment of Truth. The intro to Moment of Truth where Guru's talking into You Know My Steez. I think that's the best actual intro into a song, but there are other candidates like the intro to the Chronic into Dre Day,
Mm-hmm.
the Genesis on Illmatic and the New York State of Mind. But I started thinking on that level about the intros too. It's like, well, who's got the actual just best technical intro and then song after it? Because a lot of our favorite intros, like Ambitions of a Rider, Stillmatic intro, Stargazing, there's no actual
Well, see,
intro.
me personally, and maybe that's just me, like being the kind of listener that wants to get straight up to the music. I don't love those other type of intros, like the "It Was Written" intro, or whatever. With the,
I don't love it.
I don't love that. I like it when
Neither.
the song comes right in. I like when you rip the package off the CD. We used to do that back in the day. Put the CD
No.
in, and then you got a record like the Dynasty intro, or like
So
the Ruler's Back, like with music as opposed to people talking
no,
and
no,
stuff.
no, no, no. No. I feel you on that. But like some intros help set the tone. You know
Which
what I
ones do you
mean?
think help
It's
set the
like
tone the
this.
most
This
when
is
it comes to talking intros?
no. That's what I mean. It's like it's rare that it happens. It's like that's what I mean. It's like I remember that Chronic intro,
Okay.
and it's like, well, we had never heard anybody talk like that on the intro before. You knew you were about to hear some other shit from Dre. Like this wasn't like because just because of how Snoop Dogg was joking and playing on it, you knew it wasn't about to be like as serious and murderous as the NWA stuff. And you felt like it wasn't about to be as lyrical as the DOC stuff. And it was right. So and it was an appropriate setup. And so when I look at a great intro that doesn't have music, it has to have the music to kind of back it up to make it appropriate. That's why I like
Exactly.
Moment of Truth, because he literally says, we have certain formulas, but we update our formulas with the times. And then he says, so the rhyme style is elevated, the beat style is elevated, but it's still Guru and Premier. And he's like, and there's always a message. And then You Know My Steez comes on, and it's like, well, the beat style is elevated. And then you hear Guru, and that's the best he ever sounded. Who's a suspicious character with the sounds profound, similar to Round Spit by Derringer? You're in the Terror Dome, like my man Chuck B said. He never rhymed like that before. So it's like when you hear the intro and then you hear the come in, it's like, up, check, check, let's go. Lift
Hassan
off.
Sykes with the super chat says, Redman, I'm sorry, Redman, is he for real is a great intro. Um,
Ooh,
that is a dope
Ready to
intro.
Die. Ready to Die is a very dope ass intro.
Oh yeah,
That's the
yeah.
most well put together intro. I don't know if
And
it's
you
the
could
best, but
tell
as
that
far as well put together,
it kind of
oh
piggybacks
yeah,
off of the
the,
Chronic too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You could
the
tell there's very
timeline.
Chronic influence. You know,
No,
I don't want to skip
hold on. The
around too
shiznit's
much.
playing in the background when he's getting out of jail. I
Yeah.
love that. Like as a hip hop head, when you were a fan, when you opened up Ready to Die, and you hear the bars opening, but Snoop's in the background and the shiznit is playing, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah,
Yo, thumbs up in the chat, everybody. We about to get to it today. We got a whole lot to talk about.
well, get to these.
Now that you mentioned Dre and you talk about those levels, I was listening to What's the Difference the other day, and I was like, this Xzibit verse is crazy. I think
It's pretty
Xzibit
good.
had to. I mean, that whole line never knew about the next level until Dre did it. I stay committed while you motherfuckers babysit it. I smashed the critics like an overhand right from Riddick. What?
You
I be
want to know
catching
what's
bitches while
crazy?
bitches be catching feelings. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I hop
You,
hollows and pop. I'm like, yo, this we're sleeping on X's verse. For real, it shouldn't
so
even be a
no,
question.
I'm gonna piggyback off of you saying that, and I'm gonna take it a step further and let you know we're sleeping on Exhibit because I've been playing Bitch Please.
Oh man.
And he's snapping on Bitch Please.
He is, man. I remember rewinding Bitch Please back in the day. Like, yo, this dude's going
killing
in.
it. I was like, how did
Xzibit
this
ready to
get
scrap
off of
like
this?
Mike Tyson with his license back. 9 to 5 minimum wage. What type of life is that for me? It's blasphemy. He's touching down with the Sundance Kid and Butch Cassidy. You got the audacity to want to tangle with the ex, strangle your neck, slap you like the opposite sex, or whatever version that you want. Like both versions he killed. That was the clean version, I think. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he's pretty.
But that whole thing about never knew about the next level until Dre did it. That's what I'm talking about. When you hear Dre shit, it's another level, man. It's something else. Man with the super chat says Diddy the saga continues. Bull's theme intro was fire.
Man, I don't think that's in this conversation. But
That's what I try to tell people when it comes to this versus stuff. Man, I mean, it sounds good in theory, and you know how I love Kanye. I don't even know if Kanye can match up against Dre in a versus setting because of how next level that Dre shit sounds when it comes through the speakers, man. It's very tough for anybody.
I mean, you're taking a lot of L's. Okay, so it's like when you're messing with Dre's catalog, it's like, well, first of all, you won't be winning anything by a lot if you win. If you win, you'll be winning by 1 or 2.
He's going to have to make mistakes.
Because because he's got about 6 or 7 or 8 songs where that's just an L for everybody damn near. Unless you would have to play your best. It's like, okay, so Wu-Tang Clan could beat him. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like the entire Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, you talking about the entire Wu-Tang Clan?
Like bring the pain.
I'll tell you this, bro. I'll tell you this.
Cream.
I'll tell you this.
You know what
I'll
I'm
tell you
saying?
this. In a
Shadow
20
boxing.
verses, in a 20 song verses, Dre and Snoop.
Hey, Shayla Ghost. Like you'd have to play all the bangers.
Dre and Snoop could compete with the whole clan if we're going 20 down. Now, if we're going 20 deep,
yes,
Dr. Dre and Snoop, that's how strong they are as a unit.
No, that's how top heavy their top is.
Mm-hmm. Jay Short says Xzibit. It said if you get Xzibit the right beat, it's over. Right, and that's the reason why when him and Dre came together, it was a problem, man. Xzibit was on a tear when he got with them. You remember the song "The Game Don't Wait," that Warren G remix?
Yes.
He killed that. He killed the Tash song "Jesus G's." What
40 Days, 40 Nights.
No. I'm talking about 40 Days, 40 Nights is dope. But, like he said, you got to get Xzibit the right beat. But when he got hooked up with Dre and them and they started that run from Bitch Please on to Restless, he was on a tear.
I liked Restless.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way you do.
Okay.
It could have been better. And I think he caught the tail end of the movement.
Right, still went platinum.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think Restless is still the reason why he got Pimp My Ride and all that stuff. I mean, it served its purpose. But as far as like living up to its potential, it fell slightly short. But
slightly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of verses, you know what anniversary it is today?
I didn't until I got your note.
Yes, you got the LOX and Dipset 1 year anniversary of Verzuz. You know what? Is that the last great moment the Verzuz has had?
Unequivocally, indubitably.
Is it over from here? Is that just a distant memory at this point?
What is Verzuz? I'm sorry. What are we talking about again?
Yeah, I know, man. I think that it might have died with that Ray J, Bobby V, etc. R&B verses.
Hold on, you mean the Mario and Omarion one?
Yeah, that one. I'm sorry. I can't leave out the headline. That's
very problematic that you didn't bring up the headline.
Listen, let's keep it a buck, man. Ray J was the star of that whole thing. But if we dial back to a year ago, you and I both thought the Dipset was going to win that Verzuz. And, before y'all trash us in the chat, I'm sure a lot of y'all thought the same thing.
No, I mean, first of all, I've told you, shame on me. Like to apologize.
I should never doubt Jada. I doubted Jada twice, man.
No. You were definitely you were so off base about the Fab thing. Like that's your fault. I don't want to be attached to that one. But I told you that I thought Dipset was going to win slightly. But I told you also too they was gonna have to play it right. But you want to know what? First of all, the LOX won for a multitude of reasons. One, their hit catalog is sneaky good because it's all over the place on everybody's shit. They've been everywhere and done everything with everybody.
Right.
So put some respect on their. I think too often we look at their catalog in the album sense and we don't look at the totality of what they've really done sometimes. Because their outside album work is better than most people's in-album work, including at times theirs. You feel me? It's like they have hip-hop classic stuff everywhere on a radio sense and on a street sense. Like they have Honey Remix, but they have Blackout.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they have the mixtapes. I told you. Now, here's what I told you. And I do remember saying this to you, and I want credit for this. I was like, if the LOX stick to their roots and do the shit like Mighty D Block, I said Dipset's gonna have a problem. And you were like, I don't like Mighty D Block.
I didn't like Mighty D Block. I still don't.
I said if they do Mighty D Block, I said if they're in that type of zone where they're doing shit like that, I said Dipset has a problem.
You're right.
That's exactly what happened.
It's two things that won that Verzuz, and it's what hip hop is built on: street shit and the performance.
And you're absolutely right. So I want you to jump back in, but I want to go to the second reason why the LOX won, which is actually more has to do with what Dipset lost. Well, the LOX have stayed together.
Yeah.
And the chemistry, the stage presence, performance, or the united front was intact. And you can tell, quite frankly, the Dipset is fractured. Not really Dipset anymore. Doesn't get together. And all of these guys hadn't been really performing at all. And literally, if not for Cam being a top-notch MC and high-level performer, it's a blowout of like such epic proportions that it is ridiculous.
Cam saw how things were getting like totally out of hand, and Cam tried to put the whole situation on his back. It started to become Cam versus Jada.
No, that's what it was. Yeah. It was an admirable job. But like I told you, when I heard Jadakiss do "This Is Deep," I was like, problem. I was like, oh shit. I was like, we got a problem. Street's about to come out. And then the Who Shot You remix, and that was pretty much it, Mike. When he did the Who Shot You.
Dame 252 says, did y'all see that clip of Ghostface rapping over Girls, Girls, Girls beat? It's a shame because it was originally his. Yes, I saw that, and I also heard that the file name for that track was Ghostface that Just Blaze made. And it was supposed to go to Ghost, and, you know, Jay heard it. Jay took it. Stretch the game out. Extra name out. Put Jigga on top. Yeah, but back to that Verzuz, though.
No, I mean, that's what it was. That you know what it is? They hit you with the streets, and then they let you know that they had hits in the chamber too. That's what I mean. It was like
their hits are sneaky, and you're completely right about that.
It was like Joe Frazier in his prime. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no, you're gonna take this right hook, and then you're gonna take this left uppercut. You're on the canvas. On the canvas.
I'm not gonna make too many excuses about me being wrong, but I'm gonna say this. I was misinformed of how this thing was going to play out as far as like what Verzuz had looked like before then. Because even when you look at like Snoop and DMX, people were playing the music, they would groove into it or whatever. I didn't realize this was going to be a performance versus a performance. And like you said, Dipset, they're not performance ready. You could tell that the LOX perform all the time. And one of my guys who, you know, runs around with them or whatnot, he was saying that they were doing some of the sets that they do in shows. And like you said about that chemistry and just having that showmanship, they do this.
Right.
And you could tell that. And I think the Dipset thought they were just going to come out there and play some songs.
So this is what I mean. We understated. Like, because the third reason that they won, stage performance, chemistry, unity. Mm-hmm. Like they had the streets, and we knew that they had the streets, but they kind of snuck us with their hits, individual solo remixes. Like they got Jenny from the Block. You feel me? You know what I mean?
I think the other part of it too that we're missing, they're just much better rappers too. And when you can
They
actually
are.
execute on that performance-wise, it's going to be a blowout.
But this is what I mean when I say we understated their hits. How many rappers are really walking around? It's like, yeah, I got joints with Mary and Mariah and J-Lo. Like, how many
And I
cats
got the
walking
street
around
shit.
like that? That's rappers that got street shit too on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, where their street shit's actually their forte. So it was just a tour de force. And here's what I mean. Like, they were probably putting different segments of different shows that they've done. Hold on. Let's take the 3-4 song run from when we do this show and put that together and Kiss. Drop the remix, the Who Shot You bars, like right there, and then we're gonna do this part of that show. And that's like when a band is kind of together for 20, 25 years and it's time to go back on tour. It's like, hold on, what set we doing again? We doing the set from this tour or from that tour? Oh, fuck it. Let's do this, and have some fun. And that's what they did. And they just crushed them.
007's in the building. Shout out to 007. He says, when Jada did his verse on New York, it was officially the cherry on top. It wasn't even downfall. It became jumping off a cliff from there.
Dipset, I mean, I think Dipset, they may have won 7 songs. Like 4 or 5 of those were Cam, like Saving the Day.
Straight up,
they were about to lose like 17-3.
You heard about Flex giving Juelz Santana 7 days to drop a song, right?
You know, I read stuff like that and then I don't pay attention to it.
Well, I don't know if the 7 days are up.
Like, where is that coming from? And why is he asking Juelz to, why?
Well, I think this is the thing, right? Since the Conway thing has kind of went the way it went and him going back and forth with Pete Rock, I think that Flex is using this opportunity to try to put a battery in the back of New York MCs so they could come out with some new stuff. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But where the music at? Because that's one of the reasons why, and I know we got a real big New York following, love New York, but I think that's one of the reasons why the South has been able to do what it's been able to do in hip-hop, because some of the people up north be taking breaks, man. And shout out to Nas, because Nas is coming with the material. Heavy.
Yeah.
And that's why he's the greatest rapper.
New York's not really having the problem that people say that it is, because it's like, I mean, I hate to be the one to break it to you.
New York City.
Okay. So I have not just Nas, Mike, but AZ.
Mm-hmm.
AZ just dropped Do or Die 2 last year. Skyzoo just dropped All the Brilliant Things last year.
He did. I guess we're just focusing on the wrong ones, right?
I mean, what is he focused? That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe you're focused on the wrong thing, because like here, based in Atlanta, Georgia, we catch flack for giving like New York rap sometimes too much love in people's estimation.
Yeah.
And so it's like when he's saying like bring New York rap back, I'm like, man, I could have sworn that the LOX just made the best album of their career a couple of years ago too.
Well,
could have sworn that just happened. Didn't that just happen? Did the LOX just make the best album of their career a couple of years ago?
Do you think Santana is due for new music? Yes, I agree with you on that.
Okay.
Do you think Santana's due for new music though?
I mean, how long has he been home from jail? About a year? It's been almost a year since he's been back.
Well, I mean, it was a year since the Verzuz, so it's probably a little bit longer than that. And I was going to allude to the fact that even in that Verzuz, you could tell that he just wasn't used to being back on stage yet. They didn't prep him for that.
Well, I mean, they're not together. There's no unity. I mean, he probably could probably use some real management right now. You know what I'm saying?
The L Web says, the best of me with Kiss is much better than the remix with Jay, in my opinion. I've heard that take before. I disagree 100%. What were you going to say?
You disagree?
I disagree 100%.
Can I tell you the truth?
Carolina Blue Kicks, hottest nigga on the block, used to wheelie bicycle since I was 6. Nah.
No, I mean, I feel you. I mean, to be honest with you, I like the actual beat and the flow and the feel of the original one.
I've heard that before. No, I've heard people say that before. And,
I do. I think
you know what? As far as the beat
it's a better song. Like if you want to say Jay has the better verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jay has the better verse than Kiss does. It's not a better song. That's my thing. So when people talk about it, it's like, okay, but give me the better record. But for Maya, a win is a win is a win, because that's 2 wins. It's 2 big W's for Maya.
Yeah, but you know, for Jada, that wasn't a win, unfortunately. That was a song that could have actually been really big for him, and then it got overshadowed by this remix. They really
that was the thing about it. Okay, so Can I tell you what?
Go ahead.
I didn't have a problem with Best of Me because Best of Me had an actual video and got real burn and airtime, I'd say, for about 2 or 3 months before the remix dropped.
So they gave it some time to bubble.
They gave it some time. Now, what I had a problem with was the Fiesta fiasco because the original Fiesta with Kiss didn't get a video, and I felt like he had a better verse than Jay. So I felt like the Fiesta thing was more of a problem.
Damn, Jay was chasing him down. Jay Short with the super chat.
Like, he was trying to keep Kiss from ascending to a certain place. Like, Jay was trying to keep Kiss down. Yeah.
Jay Short with the super chat says, the Verzuz makes me more disappointed in the LOX career. I've never seen it. Seems to come together like that on their albums. They should be in the top 5 of groups. I do think that when we look at the individual potential of the LOX as a whole, I don't think their group albums have lived up to that, even though the album they put out in 2020, to me, was their best work as a group, which just kind of, just shows you how dope that they have become over time individually and how much of a unit they've stayed over the past 20 years.
Well, here's also what I would tell you is that, okay, so what do you think about Money, Power, Respect, the album? What do you think? That's a 3.5 to you?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I honestly haven't heard it since like 97, 98. But
I remember the highs are high, but the lows were kind of low. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't live up to who they were supposed to be. Let's just be real.
Right. But I felt like there's about 5 to 7 joints on there where it's like, oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I probably give it today about a 3.5. I think We Are the Streets is a 4.
Yeah. Slightly better, but similar issues.
I felt like We Are the Streets was too long. I felt like they could have cut about 3 or 4 songs out and had a much better album.
I thought that album was very... But they got
some stuff on there, like Breathe Easy might be my favorite LOX joint. We're gonna RUFFRYDE revolver, semi-automatic in the PG, hoopty, getaway driver, breathe easy.
Yeah. But as a collective though, crazy. How well do you think that album aged? Because I feel like production-wise, which isn't their fault, there was a lot of trendy things going on.
You're talking about Swiss.
I'm not a big Swiss fan. I'm just not.
Like Swiss did too much. You just know.
I'm just not.
No, damn with all that, Mike. Just say it.
I'm gonna just say it. Listen.
Beats on there, and you don't like the fact that Swiss did too many beats on there.
I feel the same way about Flesh of My Flesh.
Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood.
It's just, and again, this is nothing against Swiss personally. I'm just not a fan of his production style. I'm not.
But his best actual hip hop beat stuff is on Flesh of My Flesh and on We Are the Streets.
He
That's
hits
what I'm
sometimes.
saying. Like Breathe Easy. Hold on, actually, I think PK did Breathe Easy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I can tell. Like Swiss can't do that. Fuck You is Swiss. You don't like Fuck You? That's one of Kiss's best verses. You heard LOX came through in the yellow Lex and hopped out with the Air Force Ones with yellow checks. Yeah.
DJ Bruce Almighty says, better solo albums, Bun B or Big Boi? I might be a little bit more partial to Big Boi's solo efforts.
Draw. I say tie.
Because you know what? When it comes to Big Boi, you know you're going to get the musicality that you've gotten from Outkast's efforts. Big Boi, my only thing with Big Boi solo, I just wish he would rap more. Like, you'll get, Big Boi would do songs with like 2 verses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's get 3-verse song. Or what Big Boi would do too is he'll have Killer Mike on a bunch of songs. It's like, nah, man, I like just hearing Big Boi. Like, even though West Savannah's only 2 verses, Big Boi has proven that he can make a very enjoyable song when it's just him.
West Savannah's, you know how I feel about West Savannah. West Savannah's like a top 5 song on Equimini to me. It's a personal favorite.
Wow.
Yeah.
High praise.
I never told you that? Yeah, I think West Savannah's one of the 5 best songs on Equimini, and I think Equimini's a top 5 rap album, like ever. Yeah.
I love West Savannah. I got to think about that top 5.
How about this? That's the song that made me a really Big Boi fan. I was riding around to that. Yeah, that was my thing. Yeah.
I was just listening to Gangsta Partner. It was on the Hoodlum soundtrack, the Cool Breeze record featuring Big Boi.
Cool Breeze.
Yeah, I love
That's
Cool
the brother.
Breeze. Cool Breeze is my guy, man. Shout out to Cool Breeze out there. I would love for him to come on the show.
Hey.
But what I was thinking, man, like, okay, Big Boy's on there. And then I think about Slump. Okay, Cool Breeze is on there. Dre's not on there. And then I think about Decatur Song. Cool Breeze is on there. Dre isn't on there. Dirty South, Cool Breeze, Big Boy. I'm like, yo, why does Dre keep missing Cool Breeze on these records? Has he ever rapped with Cool Breeze outside of Watch for the Hook? Because that really don't even count. Everybody's on there.
Not really, but I was actually about to tell you. You just highlighted some of your. First of all, you're the first person that I've met that loves Cool Breeze more than I do. That's one. And two, you just highlighted some of his like best stuff. Like his verse on Slump, that might be my favorite. That might be my favorite verse from Breeze.
I don't know.
What do you say? Me and my buddy up
between-
in the corner. Me and my partner on the corner, and we serving them things.
slabs.
We better watch what we doing.
Look
out for Joe Nab.
Quit reeing up and standing on that same old
Same
block
old
before
block.
our gangsta ass partner get both of us shot.
Niggas talking because they making some flow.
Still ain't
been nothing but ain't been
before.
done before. You can't be showcasing just trying to put it down for your spot. And improvise and work with that little you got. So I think when I finish selling my last sack, I'm going to give some of this money. I'm going to take some of this money and go and give some back.
People won't forget about the time you gave. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking about a path to pay.
Yeah. No, Breeze can rap.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I might be more partial to his part on Dirty South, man. He took that shit somewhere else.
That's
Dirty
probably,
Bill
but that's
Clinton
the first time
fronted me
hearing
some
Breeze,
weight.
though, too. So that's your first time hearing Breeze, though, too. So it's kind of like the shock value of it, too. That's what I'm saying. It's like you had heard Breeze by the time Aquim and I came out, and that verse kind of stayed with me. It's like, oh, I'm like, look at Breeze. Because, you know, Thirteen's like one of my favorite, like, rap songs ever.
When I got grown, that's some Pee Wee Sachs have been and took this town. See, life's a bitch, then you figure out why you really got dropped in the Dirty South. See, in the third grade, this is what she told. You was bought. You was sold. Now they saying Juice let some heads crack. I bet you Jen clamping on his money back.
Hold on, so stop for a second.
Go ahead.
When he's saying, I bet you, they saying Juice let some heads crack, he's talking about OJ and the Birds. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know, you know what I mean? Because it's revisionist. But you want to know, here's how I felt about Cool Breeze on Dirty South. It's like, yeah, that's a great moment, but that song is filled with great moments.
It is.
First of all, the hook is epic. Okay?
Gip is epic.
And CeeLo is epic on there. Big Boy on there. Like, you just got done hearing Dre snap, and you're like, what Big Boy gonna do? Well, if Pimpin' be a sports, see, I be being that wide receiver. The nigga to be IG, but make y'all niggas believe it. Sipping a Quavo Gold, off in the club, drunk as fuck, calling them hoes bitches and smoking my weed up. Now I'm too sober, year older. Now I'm almost legal. Wanted to live the life of Cadillacs and Polos and Regals. Fucking around with hoes, busting nuts in their mouth, kicking that same southern slang, looking for love off in your jaw, ho.
Like, that's why
I don't remember Breeze shit like that, because Big Boy was doing shit like that. And Gip shit on there is fire. Gip
went crazy on
Barry Hearn to Hearn and home to all the homes. Adamsville, Food Creek shit just don't sleep.
The L Web with the super chat
going
says
down the Swats and through East Point.
Incredible. I love that video too.
Yeah.
The L Web 100 with the super chat says Swiss always been overrated to me. Dame Grease was much better on X albums. Yeah, you know, Swiss got a lot of credit for that first X album, and Dame Grease is the one. And maybe that's why I'm not that big on Swiss like that, as much as I love the Rough Riders anthem. Huh?
It's because PK and Dame are just superior.
I think so too. And I heard what they were able to do with DMX. I heard stuff like Stop Being Greedy. I heard stuff like Get At Me Dog. I heard How's It Going Down. And I'm like, yeah, these keyboard beats just ain't doing it for me. Andrell Green with the super chat. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but here's what really happened, and let's kind of like stay with the Rough Riders thing. I know we went like down here to the Swats in East Point with Breeze and the Dungeon Family for a quick. Let's get back to the Rough Riders camp for a second. Like with the whole Swiss Beats thing. Well, the only reason that any of that happened is because Rough Riders Anthem became the crossover hit on It's Dark and Hell is Hot, even over how it's going down. And so Swiss started getting placements that actually should have went to PK and Dame, because they're the ones that really built out It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Mike, I think It's Dark and Hell is Hot is better than Reasonable Doubt. That's how great It's Dark and Hell is Hot is to me. Like if I was putting it, like
I
put
think
it
so
slightly
too.
ahead
I'm
of
not even
Reasonable
gonna
Doubt.
lie to you. And I'm a big Jay fan. I'm a big Reasonable Doubt fan. I think Reasonable Doubt is Jay-Z's best album. My
It's
favorite
not better
album
than It's
from
Dark
it,
and Hell.
yeah, I think It's Dark and Hell is Hot is better. It has more depth. I
There's more
think that
valuable.
from beginning to end, the production is not even close. When you
It's
talk
not.
about the story, when you talk about the performance, It's Dark and Hell is Hot is a special moment. It
I
could be
mean,
argued. It's hard to argue many albums ahead of it. I mean, because really, at the end of the day, the only thing you can say from a hip hop standpoint, okay, this album's more lyrical. But if you talk about everything
that's
that
it.
an album brought
That's it.
with the crossover hits, you talk about the storytelling, you talk about the energy, you talk
The
about the
game changing.
depth, you talk about the
No.
game changing side of
Yeah,
it,
Reasonable
you
Doubt
talk
didn't
about
change
the
the game.
features on it. You're right.
Yeah.
No, Reasonable Doubt
Reasonable
didn't
Doubt didn't change the
game.
game.
It did.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Sure as hell did.
It shook shit up.
Immediately.
Andrell Green with the super chat says, went to Kendrick's
Drug
show
use,
last night in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center. He's one of the best live performers in hip hop. Coop should have pulled up. So you enjoyed the show. I love that. I want to get some more feedback. Anybody else seen Kendrick's tour so far? I would love to hear what people think about it. Darren Harris
Shout
with
out
the
to
super
West
chat.
Boulevard and Beatty's Ford. LaSalle, Southwest Boulevard, Roselle's Ferry, West Side.
Darren Harris with the super chat says, which LOX member had the best collabo album? Freddie versus Jason, Beloved, Styles P and Dave East, Woo Block, Sheik and Ghost. P.S. Don't sleep on Beloved. It was a fire album. I might go with Beloved, to be honest with you.
I was actually
As an
thinking
album.
that was the best one, so nobody's sleeping. When he said that, I was thinking that's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
so hold on.
year, Styles dropped like 3 albums.
Let's stay on this LOX thing because actually, when I was thinking, We Are the Streets might be better than we're giving it credit for. When you're asking how this held up, like first of all, I remember it being too long because it had too many skits, and so let's go to how many records on the original version because they got a condensed version down. There's 18 tracks on here originally, so let's take the skits out. 1 in the intro, which is a skit 2 that I didn't care for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you take the 4 skits out, you got 14 records. You want to run down these 14 records right quick? Because I think this album might be better than we're giving it credit for. Because you're asking how these songs are holding up, right? Fuck You.
Yeah.
Let's say that's holding up well.
Yeah.
Can I Live?
I like Can I Live.
Me too. Breathe Easy.
I like Breathe Easy.
Felony Niggas, the style solo.
Yeah.
Felony Niggas. Who will such 70 niggas, you know? Yeah. Wild Out? I didn't love Wild Out.
I didn't love Wild Out. How many of those records did they do with the verses that you remember? Just off top.
Their catalog is stupid.
Right.
Like just period. Like their song making is stupid. Blood Pressure, the Kiss solo.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope. I thought it could have been better, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Recognize, the Primo joint.
I like Recognize.
Y'all fucked up now. This is the first one I felt like you could have kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep that. Scream LOX, you can keep that. You told me, Trineve. Yeah. Ride or Die, bitch. We're keeping it. No, we're keeping that. We're keeping that. That's a banger.
I guess.
It's a banger, man.
I mean, when you think about the fact
dated?
that Timbaland made it during that period, that's a B-list. That's a B-list Timbaland track. Let's be perfectly honest.
How about this? I don't think they do well on A-list Timbaland beats. I think that beat was made intentionally for them. Okay. They didn't want nothing too bright and shiny from Timbaland, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think that was intentional to keep their brand alive. We are the streets.
Yeah.
They're not with Puff anymore. They can't be too shiny.
I was gonna say, I think that they really attempted to double down on that whole "we're not shiny suit" LOX anymore.
So is the beat selection, but even Kiss's, yeah, what's up, Ma? You know, Kiss, nigga with the hot flow in the cold. No, he's nice on there. No, we're keeping that. Keeping that. The chicks like the record. We got to give the ladies something from the LOX, Mike.
No, that's real.
You got to think about the ladies sometimes, Mike.
Especially in that period. That was what, 2000?
Yeah. If You Know, Eve and Dragon, you could have kept that actually,
Yeah.
in my opinion. We Are the Streets, the record. I actually like We Are the Streets.
I like We Are the Streets.
No, we ain't fucking with them no more because we rep. This is a dope ass album, is what I'm saying.
I mean, it could have been doper though. You know what I mean? Knowing the talents that we know of Jada, Styles, and Sheek.
Well, listen to what I'm saying. About 10 of, like, if I'm not mistaken, we just said 10 of these 14 records are pretty fucking dope. That's
and
usually
we said like,
a 4 too.
I thought we said maybe like 5 could have been kept.
Hold on, let's go to the ones that we said. Like, are you keeping Wild Out, or are we taking it off?
I mean, it's the single. I mean, right. I don't love it, but you know what? I would take it out.
I would actually too.
Yeah.
I would actually, yeah, I'm cool with taking it out. I would actually have dropped Breathe Easy. Yeah. That's just me. I'm a different type of dude. I actually believe Biggie could have dropped Machine Gun Funk and still went platinum. Instead of Juicy. I don't believe that. Which now I officially can't listen to anymore. You know, Juicy has come on 3 times since we've had the show, and I haven't been able to listen to it.
Listen. I do, and I know people were saying in our comment section from that piece when we were talking about the Notorious B.1, it is noteworthy that the Notorious B.I.G. was in the Unsigned Hype article of 1992. So they did have his name in the Source magazine as Notorious B.I.G. in 1992. So maybe it's a big coincidence on that. You know what could have possibly happened? He could have possibly had that name, and let's just say that somebody in the business came across this tape. Possibly they saw somebody with a similar name, heard the track. Let's run with an idea like this. I got an idea.
You mean like an A&R for a major record label who just got fired because he's being too ambitious and trying to start his own label? You mean somebody like that? Okay, possibly. So back to this LOX thing. It all ties back to this LOX thing. Same guy. Hold
on. Let me get to some of these super chats real quick. Jay Short says, Rough Riders had the LOX, Eve, DMX, and Dragon, all-time talents. And we got one classic album, which was the first, Impossible. So you're saying they're underachievers?
So this is what I'm saying. So hold on. So let's go back to this whole We Are the Streets thing. So we're taking Wild out. Okay? So that's one. We're
Unknown Name says Love out, right? We Are the Streets. I'm sorry. Unknown Name says Love We Are the Streets. Appreciate the super chat.
So we got 2 out. Scream LOX, we're taking that out. That's 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
You Told Me featuring Eve. Are we keeping that?
No.
I'm 50-50 on that too. We can take it out. So that's 4 that we're taking out. We're keeping Ride or Die, bitch, because we took Wild Out.
Yeah, people say that's a bop, man. They love it.
Huh?
I'm seeing people in the chat say they love Ride or Die, bitch. They
say it's dope, Mike. It's a dope record. Bring It On.
I like Bring It On.
Nay.
Yeah, you can stay.
Yeah, I'm cool with I like Bring It On.
Yeah.
If You Know. No. So that's 5. So we're taking 5 of the 14. So 9 of the 14 songs are dope. So what is that? That's about a 4, right?
I guess so. But see, the stuff isn't like so outstanding. Like when they did None of Y'all Better on Kiss the Game Goodbye. Now that's a standout. And they have the ability to make 10 of those.
So can I tell you the album that I really think we're underrating it was too long? That's the one. Kiss the Game Goodbye.
Yeah. Now
Kiss the Game Goodbye has songs that have held up extremely well. Show Discipline with Nas.
Yep. No, I agree. Make it? I don't really know what the expectations were for
Put Your Hands Up's dope. Goodbye. Put Your Hands Up's held up well.
I love Put Your Hands Up. I love doing the drop. Before Siegel came through and destroyed it.
I thought Feel Me might have been the best joint on the album. The original Feel Me.
Mm-hmm.
With DMX. Shit. Bangers on Kiss the Game Goodbye. We ain't even talking about Knock Yourself Out.
I love Knock Yourself Out. I play that from time.
I love Knock Yourself Out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how to do my. What do you say? The first nigga to cook bass on a Foreman grill.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. LP with the super chat says Sheek stole the show, in my opinion. Shout out to Sheek, man. Sheek
nice coming out party on We Are the Streets. Yeah, I just wanted to give the LOX some love. It's like they're when you put these albums together, like the Living Off Experience album, so they got a 3.5, a 4, and like a 4.25. If you were to average that out and then go to the other stuff, no, they average making about a 4, but you got 2 of probably the 25 greatest MCs of all time. So you're like, where are my 5s at?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they're not great. and they have 5 material songs. They prove that in the verses.
Well, what do you
And,
think about what Jay Short said with all of that talent that they were able to just come with one classic album? I mean, some people might think that there were multiple classics, but just hands down classic. I think that It's Dark and Hell is Hot is the one. I think that I think Eve put together a quality album with the First Lady.
No, so actually, what I was about to say is like, well, let's do a little. Hold on, let me go under my LOX and Dipset notes. Let's do a little catalog run right quick. So we have It's Dark and Hell is Hot. That's a classic, but let's not act like this didn't make some dope ass music.
Yeah.
Eve album is a dope album. Okay, We Are the Streets is a dope album.
It's a dope
Rough Riders Volume 1 is a dope album.
That is a very dope album.
Yes, it is. So is Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood. So it's like you don't have any classics, but you have 3 4s and above. We have 4 4s and above that I just named right there. Like I would give Flesh of My Flesh and the Rough Riders Volume 1 4.5. I would give Even We Are the Streets a 4.
Yeah, definitely.
And so they got 5. They got 5 dope ass albums out of that period coming out of that.
What did you say? What did you say? 4.5. Hold on. What did you say? 4.5.
Flesh of My Flesh and the Rough Riders Volume 1.
That Rough Riders Volume 1 is tough. I might go 4.25.
X's record on there, the last record on there.
Yeah.
Some X shit.
Yeah, some X shit was crazy.
Kiss's solo on the Rough Riders joint is better than his solo on We Are the Streets.
No, man, what is it? Dope Money? That record is crazy. That's Sheik and Styles going back and forth for real. Like, that's what I want to hear more of. Like, you cannot beat when Sheik and Styles are going back and forth. That was one of the best parts of the whole D Block G Unit thing. When Sheik and Styles go back and forth, I mean, you could just shut everything down, man. Like, come on, man. LP with the super chat says, Rough Riders had more artists go gold and platinum outside their main stars than Rockefeller did. Only Kanye and Cam. He said only Kanye and Cam sold records outside of Jay.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, well, okay. So let's look at it like this.
I want to talk about Jay in a minute too.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So this is what I mean. Usually get 5 great. Usually get 5 great albums. It just all depends on how great those albums are gonna be. And here's how people look at it. Well, Death Row, they got The Chronic, Doggy Style, Dog Food, All Eyes on Me. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's just
do you want to give them above the rim
too? Huh?
You want to give them above the rim too? That was on Death Row.
We give them above the rim and make it 5. That would be the thumb. Let's go to Wu-Tang Clan's original run. What is it?
36.
It's Enter the Wu-Tang. It's the Purple Tape. It's Liquid Swords. It's Iron Man and Supreme. Those are the ones that are considered, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I'm going dirty version. I'm going dirty version too.
We can go, hold on, but what I'm saying, okay, so Wu-Tang is different, but even Wu-Tang's like peak, you usually get 5. You're going to get 5 dope albums out the camp. So is Rough Riders, 5 albums comparable to Death Row or Wu-Tang? It's like, no, but that doesn't mean there's not great shit everywhere.
Yeah, no, I agree.
LP so let's not say that they didn't do a good job. No, I can still play stuff from Flesh of My Flesh. Blackout's one of the best posse cuts ever.
LP says Juvie and Drag had one of the best songs on there. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the songs of the year. I remember when that shit dropped, everybody was like, that was the joint.
I'm going to be honest with you. You want to talk about some like actual single bangers to start off an album? That album goes Down Bottom, What Y'all Want, Jigga, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Can you say hit?
No, for real.
Home run.
Legit hits, too.
No, legit home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Those songs, all 3 of those songs played the entirety of the summer on the radio. All 3.
They did. Speaking of Jigga.
Rough Riders Volume 1. Matter of fact, if I was ranking it, wouldn't you say Rough Riders Volume 1 is the second best album to come out of that camp after It's Dark and Hell is Hot?
I think so.
Yeah,
it was so good that they tricked me into buying Volume 2.
I didn't do that. I knew it wasn't going to happen again.
Purchase that I ever made in the CD era. I was so disappointed. I tried to make myself like that album. I've probably told this story 5 or 6 times on this podcast since we've been in existence. Y'all owe me a CD, D and Y. Y'all do, man.